I just wanted to say good morning and thank you for joining. If you are joining and you are joining to practice, I really encourage you to say hi below so we have an idea of who's here and what's going on. It's still a new format, Facebook Live for me, so thanks for your patience as I get used to it over the coming weeks. But this is all about your practice and all about your morning, so let's get started. So take whatever opening position is comfortable for you. Maybe that's taking, if you have props, if you have a bolster, a pillow, sofa cushion, anything that's going on and you want to lie back, soles of the feet together, knees wide, really encourage you to do that now. If you prefer to take your opening in a seated position, that's also perfectly okay. Just starting to drop in now. Take whatever comfortable opening position is available for you and gently close your eyes. Start to explore your breath a little bit without changing it too much just yet. Just start to tune in. If you're practicing with me and you happen to be on the east coast of Australia, it's quite early. So we're just easing into our practice. If you're practicing this later in the day, no problem. Just take this time to bridge between the activity of your day and your practice. So softly check in. Explore the quality of your breath this morning. Perhaps it's already smooth and connected. There's still that lovely legacy, perhaps, of sleep. Or maybe there's just a little bit of an edge or a disjoint. Just observe with this gentle, benevolent attention and resisting any urge to have a dialogue with your breath or to get too critical of it just yet, just tuning in. Now perhaps bringing your attention a little more specifically to a sensation, a single sensation of your breath. And you choose what that is. Some examples might be noticing it passing through your nostrils, maybe over your sinuses or the back of your throat, or a gentle rise and fall of your torso. Pick one of these or any other that you find useful and just notice the sensation of your breath. Just noticing that beautiful involuntary, voluntary nexus of your breath, your body's wisdom in being able to breathe, to connect, to sustain life, but also your ability to be able to gently modify and use that to start to regulate your emotions and start to regulate the way you're feeling or perhaps even the way you perform. And just observe, notice. You might even like to play with a very slight smile on your face as you're noticing your breath here this morning. Now perhaps with a little bit more attention on your breath and movement of your abdomen, you might start to expand your tummy, expand your abdomen on your inhalation, and exhale, allow it to soften and fall away. Let's try another one of those. Inhale, expanding your tummy, and exhale, fall away. Continue in your own time, your own breath cycle. Maybe even expanding abdomen and expanding chest on your inhalation. Allowing both areas to soften on your exhalation. Continue. And understand that as we breathe like this, you're not actually breathing into your abdominal cavity, but you are using that distension of your abdomen, that pushing out of your tummy, to start to draw your diaphragm potentially down a bit further. So you might be able to slow your breath, to deepen your breath. But even if you don't get too technical about it, just noticing what happens when you begin to breathe like this. Taking care not to push the pace. Because sometimes when we focus on our breath, We can unconsciously breathe a bit faster. Just slow it all down. Inhale, expand. And exhale, release and soften. Just taking one more of those. And release. Now maybe this time you might like to take a nice full inhalation. And maybe an open mouth exhalation. Maybe one more of these. Inhale. And exhale. And then if you're lying on your back, feel free to open eyes. Roll around a little bit, make any movement that feels appropriate. Rolling off onto your side and gently helping yourself up. We'll come to a more formal breathing practice, or pranayama as it's known in yoga. And I thought this morning we might start with our ujjayi breath, so this breath that is a little bit audible at the back of the throat, maybe in your ears. Not necessarily so that a neighbour might be able to hear it, but just so that you're able to hear it. It just allows you to bring a little bit of focus. Take care once again not to introduce too much tension and not to potentially breathe too rapidly as well. So we're just closing the glottis a little bit at the back of the throat. You might like to place your hands, activate pelvic floor, abdomen, drop chin slightly. And gently dropping into whatever breath cycle is appropriate for you this morning, but just so that you can start to hear your breath a little bit more audibly. Now potentially deepening this, maybe a count of 6. Inhale for 6. And exhaling for 6. Maybe taking another one of these. Inhale. And exhale. Perhaps one more. Inhale 6. And exhale your count of 6. Beautiful. Release and breathe naturally. Now we'll do another round of those, another round of 3, where we're doing a gentle retention at the end of the exhalation. So that might be a simple and very light pause in your breath. For others that have broader retentions, or deeper retention, should I say, with Anusari, feel free to do that. If you don't know what that is, doesn't matter this morning. We're just taking that gentle pause at the end. So synchronize our breath together once more. Inhale for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause to retain the breath. 2, 3. And inhale. Equal length exhale. Gentle pause. 2, 3. Inhaling once more. Equal length exhalation. And pause. 2, 3. Release your breath. Come back to a nice neutral position. So let's begin to move. Coming onto your hands and knees. A little bit of so-called cat-cow to begin. So knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. Folding your spine down. Maybe look forward or up. And then exhale, round your spine. Protract your shoulders forward. Inhale, fold. Exhale, round. One more. Inhale. Exhale, round. And then come to neutral and give everything a little bit of a wiggle. Beautiful. We're going to try another variation with the opposite arms and legs. So you might take right arm forward, left leg back, nice and long, challenging your balance a little bit. And then exhale, elbow through knee. Inhale, lovely and long. Exhale, round. Inhale. Exhale. And breathe naturally here, but hold for 3, 2, 1 more. Lovely. Knee down, hand down, wriggle everything out. Opposite side. Inhale, lovely and long. Left arm, right leg. Exhale, round. Inhale, long. Exhale, round. One more time. Spinal extensors in opposing directions and exhale, round. Breathe naturally, but hold here. 3. Active core. 2. 1 more. Lovely. Release that. Wiggle everything out. Just feeling into your body this morning. Walking your hands forward, hips back. Don't worry too much if your hips don't meet your knees. We're going to scoop through between our thumbs. So looking forward, this is a little bit more a continuation of your spinal movement. So lifting up, elbows might stay narrow, scooping your chest through, and then rounding hips back to heels twice more. Look forward. Scoop through. Hips back to heels. 1 more. Look forward. Scoop through. Now tuck toes. Head back to your first downward facing dog. So your hands might press, your knees might bend, your hips might be high. Rolling your shoulders outwards, and then over time, maybe those heels start to come down. Maybe the legs start to straighten. Maybe they don't. Just noticing where you're feeling it. And if you're feeling it too strongly in your shoulders, you might be forward here a little bit. Take care. Bend knees, hips high. Head towards the back of your mat, making it a little bit more sustainable. Take 5 breaths here. Settle in. Feel free to bend your knees. It's your first downward dog of your practice, so make it yours. 3 more. 2 and 1. Beautiful. Take a little break or raise your right leg high to the sky, nice and level with your hips. And we're going to do 3 planks, breathing as we go. So exhale it forward, round, bend the knee and hover. And then inhale back. Exhale round. Inhale back. Last one, exhale, round, breathe naturally, but hold. 3, beautiful. Rounded back, protracted shoulders, pushing the hands into the mat. 1 more. Lovely, and bring that right foot forward, alongside right thumb. Left knee might connect. Have a little explore of your hips this morning. How are they feeling? Fingertips might be on the ground. This is option 1, so you can always choose to stay here. These are all just options for your practice this morning. You can even pad the back knee if you'd like to. Any sensitivity in the back knee, if you want to, you can keep it lifted, but generally encouraging it to lower if your knee can handle it. Otherwise, option 2 might be coming to your knee, and if it's accessible, maybe lifting the arms, little fingers to the midline, lifting towards the ceiling. If you're coming to a little back bend for Anjaneyasana, lift first, maybe a little back bend. Option 4 is to lift up and encourage the back bend. And we're here for 5, 4, 3, nice lifted chest, 2, and 1. Gently lower, plant your hands, step back, downward facing dog. Take a little rest on your knees if you need to. It's never a problem. Make it yours. Just work with your body, your breath on this particular day. It will change. Opposite leg might come up now. For me, it's my left, reaching behind, nice and long. We're going to take those 3 planks. So take the knee forward, exhale. Lovely inhalation back. Nice, and move forward, exhaling round your upper back. Inhale back. And then exhale round. And just breathe naturally. We're going to pause and hold those. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Left foot might come down, right knee might connect. And once again, have a little exploration. So find out how this hip feels this morning. If your knee is sensitive, you can lift it or slide a blanket underneath it. And you can always stay with hands on the ground. This is a lovely option. If you're not particularly open here, just work with your body on this particular day. Hands to the knee might be alternate option, option 2. Lifting your chest up to the ceiling, maybe your arms. And if you'd like to, a little baby back bend. This is option 3, so it's a really lovely place to stay. Option 4 for those who are taking it might be to lift. And we're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more. Beautiful. Gently lower hands wherever you got to. Maybe stepping that back foot forward this time. Have a nice little hang, feet wide. Head down. Just swaying everything all the way down. Nod your head. You can even let your hands go if that's comfortable for you. Taking whatever you like. Maybe a little movement in your knees is a nice idea. Just finding out how that changes things for you in your back. And just 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. Lovely. And then rolling up, making it super gentle. Take as much time as you need. Heading me all the way up to standing. Beautiful. So now we're going to come to our salutes, our vinyasa, our surya namaskar as it's called. If you're super familiar with this, no problem. Please feel free to go ahead to any variation of it that serves you. I'm going to break it down just in case we have some beginners on today. So, surya namaskar A, salute A. First, you might take your feet hip width apart if you've got any lower back. Nice soft knees, inhaling up. And exhale, might roll through center. Inhale to look forward. You can take shins if that's helpful. And then plant your hands, step it on back, taking your knees to the mat. You might take a little baby plank where the elbows are over the hands. You come forward and then you lower down, taking what's known as cobra, where the chest is forward and open. And then tuck toes back to your downward facing dog. So again, that can be knees bent. We'll take 5 breaths here, and the place you look is towards your thighs or your abdomen. 4 more. 3. 2 more. 1. And you can walk or step it towards the top of your mat. Once again, inhale to look forward, exhale to fold, and then roll it on up on your inhalation. Exhale to standing. Beautiful. So continue with that version of the salute. Other options follow. Inhale up, exhale through. Inhale. And exhale, you might step or walk back. You might take your knees down or come from your toes. Chaturanga is this gentle push down. And you might take cobra, or you might come onto the tops of the feet, thighs lifted, upward dog. On your exhalation, come back, downward facing dog. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more. Beautiful. Walk or step forward. Inhale. Exhale. Roll yourself on up to standing. And beautiful. 1 more round like that. Inhale. Exhale through. Inhale, look forward. You can walk, step, or if you're familiar, you might even float. Knees or toes, chaturanga. Take cobra or up dog, careful with your lower back. Exhale, downward dog. Take 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more. And you might walk or step, or if you're learning to float, you might lift your heels, bend your knees, hips high, little hop forward. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Roll it on up. And exhale to standing. Beautiful. So now we're going to come to salute to the sun B variation. So coming again, I'll do a couple of options. If you know it, go straight there, no problem. So option 1, we might take the feet hip width apart. So the entrance is a little bit similar, but we add chair pose. So we inhale, scoop, bend the knees as if we're sitting in a chair. We exhale and fold. Inhale, look forward. You might take shins. Plant your hands, step or float back. You might take your knees down or come from toes. Chaturanga. You might lower down to cobra or take upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. All very familiar. Now it starts to change. This right foot comes forward. Help it if you need to. Warrior 1. So we come into this forward lunge. Arms might lift. Then on your exhalation, they head down. Step it on back. Knees or toes. Chaturanga, little cobra or an up dog, and then a downward facing dog. Exhale. Left side when you're ready. Foot comes forward, help it if you need to. Inhale up to a lunge. Exhale down. All the way, take your knees down if that's helpful. Gently lower, pause, and then take your cobra here. Downward dog on your next exhalation. Now we take 5 breaths. Think about the place you look as maybe your abdomen or your tops of thighs starting to open, shoulders, ground your hands, particularly the base of your index finger. Downward dog is as much about opening your shoulders as it is about opening the back line of your body. 2 more. Nice gathered center, nice gathered abdominal cavity without hardening. 1 more. And walk, step or float forward. Inhale again. You might take shins if that's more comfortable. Exhale, fold. And then chair pose is last. So you might feet hip width apart. You might scoop it through as if you're sitting in a chair. And then on your exhalation, come to standing. Beautiful. So we're going to take another one of those. So I'll show some other options this time around. But you continue with that option if it serves. Inhale, chair pose, utthita. Exhale, fold, uttanasana, standing forward bend. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, plant your hands, walk, step or float. Knees or toes, chaturanga. Cobra or up dog, downward dog. Right side, warrior 1 on your inhalation. Inhale. Exhale your way down. Inhale up. And exhale back. Left side. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhale up. And exhale back. Find your steadiness. Regain your composure. Your breath might be slightly, your respiration might be slightly elevated. Heart rate, temperature. Noticing all these things and regaining composure in this brief pause. 3 more. 2 more. Cultivating this idea of gazing inwards. 1 more. And your choice, walk, step or float forward. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Chair pose is last. Inhale, scoop it through. And exhale to standing. Beautiful. Pause. Take a breath or two. Lovely. And then maybe turning now. We're going to come to our little balance. I think we did tree pose last week, so we'll try it again this week. We're going to add a little big toe pose on the end. So for those of you already working on this and you do use a strap, have it handy. If you don't, you can use fingers to your big toe, no problem. I'm just going to demonstrate this for those whom it might help. So this is just for later. I'm just going to have that hanging over my shoulder so it's there when I need it. First option we're going to come to though is a little tree pose. So we might shift the weight onto one leg, take the heel of the other foot up, little kickstand, balancing option one. So if you've got any balance problems, ankle problems, this is a lovely option. Don't hesitate to have a wall handy if it's helpful. Option two, you might take the sole of your foot to your calf. You might fix your gaze now, maybe slightly lower down, a little bit in front. This will help you ground your mind and balance. If you're coming to option three, lift and hover first. We're not just sinking into the joints here. We're actually taking a super active approach. Then taking the sole of your foot in, knee wide. If you're comfortable here, maybe you float the arms up, elbows wide. We're going to be here for 5, 4, 3, 2 more, 1 more. Beautiful. And heading all the way down, just giving that ankle a little bit of a break. So when we're challenging a little bit moving forward, we might move between these postures without actually putting the foot down. But today we'll just demonstrate, and we're taking big toe pose. So you might use simply a nice bent knee for this one, or you might use a strap, hooking your strap around the ball of your foot, or fingers to the big toe if you're already in that place. So starting to lift again, I tend to like to gather abdomen, gather pelvic floor, gather abdomen, and gently drop chin, the 3 bandha as we know it eventually, and then start to extend the legs. So if the leg's bent, that's totally fine. If it starts to straighten out and you need to come back up the strap, that's fine too. If it's in your range, take the big toe. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2 more. 1 more. Beautiful. Now maybe turning that thigh out a little bit, maybe taking the leg to the side. If you're super comfortable, change the gaze. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more. Turn your gaze back forward, bring the leg forward. Now optional fold forward for those for whom it's appropriate is to maybe start to take that chin down. Lifting back up, thinking about active assisted stretching. So we're already supporting the foot, so gently let it go, activating the top of the leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down, beautiful job, and then lift and lower. Give everything a little bit of a release. And remember, you can layer on challenges with this over time. So even when it becomes familiar, you can start to make this nice and active for you and a beautifully and enjoyable practice. Other side, take yourself through the options. Option 1, have a little wall handy if that's useful. Option 2, sole of the foot to the calf, knee starts to become wide. We challenge the balance. So particularly if anything's going on for you in your ankle, this can be a really lovely place to focus, to concentrate, to start to build that little bit of strength and balance in your ankle. Option 3, lift and hover. Maybe help the foot in, sole of the foot to the inner thigh, active base leg thigh. Balancing here. Beautiful. If you're comfortable, float the arms up, elbows wide. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Lower it on down. And for this purpose today, we're going to actually take a little break between, so we're going to let that knee come down. Maybe give the opposite ankle a little bit of relief. But then bringing yourself back on up, maybe having your strap handy if you're working with it. I'm going to take the strap in the same side hand as the leg that comes up. So folding up that opposite leg, maybe looping the strap around the ball of the foot, taking the big toe if it's appropriate, or simply bending the knee, taking that. Reaching out. If you need to back up the strap when you get there, no problem. Take 5, 4, grounding the base leg, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. Turn that leg out slightly, maybe taking it to the side. Don't worry if you're wobbling, you can see I did, no problem. Maybe turn the gaze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe come back to center, pause and an optional fold forward. So maybe you start to take that chin down and then lifting on up, release the foot when you're ready. We're going to hold it up here. 5, you can do it. 4, if you fall out, it's fine. Lift that leg back up. And 4, 3, 2, active top leg, 1, and lower down, beautiful. Now lift and lower, lift and lower. Good job. And slowly bring yourself back to the top of the mat. Now we're going to come through some standing postures. I'm going to flow between them. So if for any reason that's a little bit too exhausting for you today, feel free to just switch the legs in a standing position. Otherwise we might flow. Inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward, walk, step or float. Knees or toes, chaturanga. Cobra or up dog, downward facing dog. Right leg comes forward, middle of your mat, left heel connects. Warrior 2, head there, settle in. Take a wide stance, knee over the ankle. Now we're going to flow, maybe front hand turns up, inhale back. And then exhale over, give yourself a nice soft side angle, elbow to knee. We're going to do this twice more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale over. Now settling into your version of side angle. So it might be this one, elbow to knee, arm lifted. Option 2 is to take the longest 3 fingers down behind, but resisting the urge to lean into the hands, staying lifted. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more. And when you're ready, maybe you come back through center, help yourself on up. Beautiful. Now we're going to come to triangle, but the feet might be a bit far apart, so bring them in if you need to. Inhale the arms up and exhale over. So it might be a nice soft top of your shin like this, or it might be further down towards your ankle top, arm lifted. Big toe if it's in your practice, maybe gazing upward if it's okay for your neck. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more. Lovely. Lower your gaze, soften your knee. Inhale up, exhale, hands to waist, turning towards the short edge of your mat. We're going to take that front leg, for me it's my right foot, and head it over a little bit so that we're separated. We're coming to what's known as pyramid pose, but the hips are facing forward. So you can just simply gather your elbows, or if it's in your practice, reverse prayer. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more. Inhale, lift yourself up. Release, beautiful. And then we're going to take it wide, so coming back to the front. Take your legs nice and wide, maybe lining up your heels with the outer edge of your mat. Going to take wide angle forward bend. So again, you can keep softness in your knees here, no problem. Taking your version. Inhale long and exhale over, reaching for the ground underneath the nose. Settle, Maybe bend your knees, wiggle those hips, extend that little bit further, and then on your exhalation, start to take the crown of your head down. So you might only get here, no problem. If it's in your practice and you can walk the hands back, starting to take the crown of your head down, great. If your head meets the floor easily, maybe bring your feet in. If it doesn't, feel free to wiggle those feet out a little bit, but you're aiming to lengthen the spine. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2 more, 1 more. Inhale, look forward. Take hands to the hips, maybe softness in your knees. Exhale up, beautiful. So guys, this is an example where you might simply step the feet together and wait for us here. Option to flow. Inhale up, exhale. Inhale, plant your hands, walk, step or float, knees or toes, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And taking your opposite leg forward for this other side. So for me, that's my left leg, middle of the mat, right heel down, sweeping to warrior 2. You stay where you are. I'm going to switch around so you can see me a little bit more easily. Nice and deep in that front knee. Settle in. And we might move with the breath a little bit. So front hand turns up. Inhale back. And then exhale over. Soft knee to the, elbow to the knee, I should say. Arm along the top. And 2 more of those. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And then exhale on over. Taking your version. Now it might be this one with the elbow to knee, arm lifted. Or it might be longest 3 fingers behind, gazing under the arm or towards the top hand. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more. Beautiful. And lifting up or taking a little bit of help from your knee, lifting yourself up. Beautiful. And bringing yourself back now, triangle, so the feet might come a little closer together, both legs towards straight, arms reach, head on over, so it might be nice and soft like this towards the top of your shin, or it might be lower towards your ankle, top arm lifted, or big toe if it's in your practice. Take 5, 4, 3, 2 more. 1 more. Beautiful. Maybe lower your gaze, soften your knee. Inhale up. Hands might come to hips and we'll turn towards the short edge of the mat. So we're coming to this pyramid pose. So that front leg's going to go over a little bit just to give yourself that little bit of hip width distance apart. Options to simply gather elbows behind or reverse prayer. Inhale long. Exhale over. Chin towards shin, don't worry about how far away it is, just towards that place. 5, 4, 3, 2 more. 1, lovely. Soften, lift, release your hands, and everybody now planting your hands, stepping or floating back, knees or toes, chaturanga, cobra or up dog, downward facing dog. Steady here, take a couple of breaths, and then when you're ready, dropping to your knees or starting to float yourself through all the way. Legs through, coming to this L-sit position known as staff pose or dandasana. So taking this, pay special attention to the hips. So often when we sit in this position, the hips will go this way. So if you need to bend your knees a little, start to bring the hips up. We're about activating here and closing the gap here. Nice active center line, hips down. Hands down, I should say. You might drop your chin slightly. So again, we get this idea of these 3 bandha, binds in the body, or firming, this really firm center line. So pelvic floor is lifted, abdomen is lifted, chin is slightly dropped. There's this connection between these 3. 2 more breaths. And 1. And then taking a little softness in your knees, walk it on forward. We're coming to the seated forward bend, and it's different for everybody. So for you, it might just be walking forward, resisting the urge to grab the thighs and turn it into a bicep thing. Just working here. Read your feet. So you'll notice my feet naturally, the big toes start to curl in. So I activate them, pushing them in that direction. And then I inhale, lift, belly button heads towards thighs and walk forward. So just walking to wherever you feel that first edge. Inhale, lift again, and then exhale, fold. Now, when you're in your full extension, if you find it useful, feel free to maybe grab outer edges of shins or feet and fold forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more. And then inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. So for those of you who want a vigorous practice, really offer you the option to vinyasa through at this point. Rest of us are going to head to Janusirsasana, or head of knee pose. So while the others are jumping through, we'll fold the right knee in here. So this is really about creating this support for your knee before you start to take it out to the side. Particularly important if you find, and you notice I actually was pressing my foot into the ground, you saw my buttocks lift. So there's this idea of activating here. Now I take that knee out to the side without arms if I can, then maybe I help settle it in. So just making sure there's no pain or discomfort in this knee, but setting it up like that so that you're getting used to activating the knee before you're taking it into that externally rotated, because it really is your hip doing that motion rather than your knee. So your knee should be nice and supported and fairly stable as it goes out, and that really should be about your hip. That's what you're cultivating. So same principle as we fold forward, nice and lifted, thinking about pelvic floor, abdomen, chin slightly dropped. Inhale, lift. Bend the knee if you need. Start to exhale. Belly heads towards thighs. So walking down and just meandering down without taking the leg just yet. If you're nice and comfortable, maybe that leg straightens. Walking forward, walking forward. Then once you reach your maximum, maybe taking the foot if that's useful. We're here for 5. Head of knee pose, Janusirsasana. 3 more. 2 more. And 1. Lovely, releasing your hands and heading yourself on up. We're going to turn this into a side bend now. So this bent leg we're going to take further around to the side, maybe turning to face the long edge of your mat. And so this can be a nice little gentle side bend. You might take the opposite hand onto the thigh, other hand onto the head, and simply take the elbow up, making this sensation along the side of your body, remembering it's your practice. Doesn't matter how far you get. And that's one of the beauties of practicing like this, is you can just work with your body on your particular day. If you're feeling more open, you might lengthen that top arm, noticing greater sensation perhaps in hip and also a little bit in the underside of the back leg. Option for those for whom it's available is to take the outer edge of that foot, just working wherever you are. Taking 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more. And then head yourself on up. Beautiful. Have a little shake, release. Coming back to your seated position. So, option for those who would like to vinyasa through. Otherwise, just sitting here and joining the rest of us. I'll vinyasa with you. So, fold through, lift, bring yourself down, chaturanga, cobra or up dog, down dog. And then jumping back through, joining the rest of us, folding that opposite leg in, left leg this time. I'm going to turn around so you can see. So again, we're creating this lovely support, this brace around the knee before we take the hip open. So heading it on open, making sure there's no pain or discomfort. We might even bend this straight leg a little bit. Belly button up, a little bit towards the leg. Starting to walk down into the forward fold. So seeing if you can do this without the biceps initially, because we're wanting to cultivate this core awareness, but also this deep fold in your hip. Taking 5 here. Taking the foot when it's appropriate, if it's appropriate. 4, 3, 2, 1 more. Beautiful. Gently lifting yourself up. Taking this to a side bend now. So taking this knee around to the side. Facing the long edge of your mat, perhaps, if that's the way you're set up. And just taking the opposite hand onto the bent leg. Other hand might just come up. Nice little elbow opening. This is going to give you still this line of sensation and this opening down your side body. So staying here, nice option. Option 2 might be to start to reach out, increasing that sensation a little bit. Option 3, starting to head towards the foot. Wherever you are, staying there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more. Lovely. And lift it on up. Beautiful. We're going to turn towards the short edge of our mat. Option here to vinyasa through if you would like to at this point. The rest of us will prepare for our lovely friend Navasana or boat pose. So this is one I like to include in almost every practice because this idea of this power at your core is beautiful on a number of levels, but it really starts to look at being able to activate these bandha, these binds, and this center cauldron of the body without hardness. So we're really looking for nuance here. We're looking for the ability to use that power if and when it's needed without shutting down, without hardening. So Navasana is a lovely way to do this. Hover the feet, maybe grab the knees. So sore back, menstruating, anything like that, pregnant, lovely hover. This is your option. Option 2, feet might be low, reaching out. Option 3, the feet might come in line with your knees. Or option 4, if you can extend your legs, great, as long as you don't collapse in the back. Wherever you are, stay for 5. Maybe you're back here, that's great. 4. Nice and active. Feet pressing towards each other as well as in. 3, 2, and 1. And then gently gather. Come back just to the hover. This is a lovely way just to, between options, keep yourself nice and lifted. If you'd like to, do the lift. Maybe crossing the feet nice and high. You might lift your buttocks like this. You might lift your feet as well. And head on down. We'll come to our second option. Our second round. So taking a nice little hover. Maybe options 2 or option 3. Take option 4 if it's appropriate. We're here for 5. Stay nice and lifted. Chin drops slightly. 4. Can you be firm and lifted without tension? 3. That's a bit harder. 2. And 1. Nice. Gently lower down. Take the hover, or if you're going to lift, cross your legs. Lift buttocks, maybe lift feet. And down. Lovely. Hovering again. Reach. Option 2 or option 3. Maybe option 4. Take 5. 4. You can do this. 3. Stay nice and lifted in your chest. 2. 1 more. Beautiful. Release, fold, take the lift if you choose it. Nice lift in hips, maybe feet. And down, lovely. And fold. Nice job. So we're going to take a little back bend option here. So have a block or a book or a pillow off your sofa ready. alongside you. So we're coming to the bridge sequence. And now if you're familiar with this posture, you know it does make the neck a little bit vulnerable. So looking towards the camera or the phone is maybe not a great idea. Maybe just listening to my voice as your guide. If you're not familiar with this at all, you might want to simply watch the demonstration this first time around. So feet hip width apart, head down onto your back, and taking the arms alongside, plant your hands. So we're going to take, so the feet are not right on top of your buttocks and they're not miles away. Sorry, that's probably blocking your view. So they're not right on top of your buttocks or miles away. They're right underneath your knees. So split the difference there. Hands alongside, nice neutral spine. Extend the tailbone, maybe start to peel the spine off the floor. Lifting the hips just to wherever is your edge. So find that for yourself. Now, when you're lifted, if it's appropriate, maybe you roll your shoulders in, clasp your hands. As long as your forearms and the side of your hands can still make contact with the floor, then this is great. So taking 5 here. 4. 3, 2, 1. Gently release and lower on down. Beautiful. So next couple of rounds are a lovely chance for those who do practice wheel. Feel free to go ahead and do that as long as you're nice and safe. I'm not going to break wheel down in great detail today, but I will give you an option to slide the block underneath the hips. So you want it on your sacrum, so you want it down between the hip bones here rather than the lower back. So you don't want it on that flexible part of your spine. So taking this option and simply having a little hangout here, you can see your body is in this lovely inverted position. So you're getting this lovely support. You're getting that little mild compression at the neck, at the thyroid, and soften here. So for those coming to the upward bow, to the wheel, again, if you're not familiar with this posture, taking simply a shoulder opener or taking bridge, or rolling out and just watching this for the moment. So the options for your upward dog, for your Urdhva Dhanurasana. I'm getting everything tangled down. So it's just coming to the crown of your head and lowering down again. So working on this particularly if you're tight in shoulders. So that might look like lifting, taking your breath, and on your inhalation, lifting to the crown of the head. Exhale, lower down safely and be able to lower. And master that first. Next option might be to take your hands down and inhale. You might first lift to crown of head and then up if it feels appropriate. You'll count 5, then you'll gently lower down with control and take yourself all the way out. When you're recovering from this posture, I generally recommend feet wide, knees together, hands to abdomen. So you're sending all the opposite signals. Where we expose and open the front body in that posture, this sends all the right signals without potentially causing any damage to that lower back. So just broadening the tissues of the lower back here, allowing them to recover before we do any other strong movement. So for those in your back bend, take one more round of 5 breaths. Those in bridge, just enjoying your last few breaths there. Bringing yourself on down. When you're ready, and we'll bring ourselves to closing. So, might be a nice, simple, wide-kneed hug. You can take shoulder stand if that's appropriate for you. Take a 5 or a 10 count. And then for the rest of us, setting up for Shavasana, for final resting pose. So the feet are wide, the arms are wide. You stay there. I'll sit up so that I can guide you. Really strongly advised, particularly in the cooler months as it is for us here in the Southern Hemisphere at least, is to really layer up during your Shavasana. Take blankets, any kind of weight that you can put on your body is going to really promote a deeper relaxation. So, dropping in there, feel free to close your eyes, and I do encourage you not to skip this part of the practice. It's easy, particularly if we have to rush off to work. But I'll keep time for you. We're only here for a few more minutes, so please do allow yourself this space, this opportunity for integration. Breathing gently, and knowing now that there's nothing further to do. There's no pressure, there's no special breathing, there's nothing to achieve or orient yourself towards. Simply releasing the grip of your attention now. Finding that lovely buoyant space within, that space that is always there for you. You've done a wonderful job by practicing this morning. Drop inside. One lovely technique is to use a count. This is something you can do with yourself as you're relaxing. Maybe taking a count from 10 down to 1, dropping deeper at each stage. Counting 10, 9, maybe observing a softening in your body, 8, being aware of any parts of your body in contact with your props or the floor, 7, observing a mild heaviness, 6, an overall sense of release, 5, maybe a sense of absorption, 4, and a sense of being beautifully supported and held, 3, 2 more, and 1. Taking another breath here, gently beginning to bring yourself back, maybe using your count if you find that useful. Coming up 1, maybe inhaling to expand, 2, 3, beginning to become aware of your body and space. 3, a sense of expansion. 4, 5, perhaps becoming aware of the room that you're in again. 6, feel free to move fingers or toes. 7, maybe you'll invite a stretch, a lengthening and opening. 8, rolling onto your favorite side when you're ready, taking a couple more moments here. 9 and 10. And then whenever you're ready, bringing yourself up to a comfortable seat. We'll close with a single Om, this lovely opportunity for you to warm up your throat, to vibrate this morning. Exhale through both nostrils. Lovely full inhalation. Om. thank you for practicing this morning. So I'm around if anybody would like to post a question below. We'll take a little peek at that, and otherwise a thank you, and feel free to keep posting. I will post the video online soon. Thank you for joining this morning.